We'd hired a Gen Z nanny who liked to vacuum in a French-maid costume. After she wandered, again, into the master suite study that only Dylan and I were allowed to enter, I told him to fire her. But Dylan, who usually hung on my every word, took her side. Babe, she's a fresh grad. Mistakes happen. Think of it as charity. Give the kid a chance to learn. I pictured Skylar the day she left college and softened. I let the girl stay. Then, halfway through a business trip, I opened the security feed and saw the maid outfit twerking and Dylan's blissed-out face. Only then did it hit me. The good life had gone on so long that he'd forgotten who actually owned this house. The next second I was on the phone to my lawyer. My demand was simple. Dylan would walk away with nothing. The lawyer emailed me a checklist of everything he'd need. I stared at the wedding day wallpaper on my phone, bitterness flooding my mouth. High school sweethearts, and still he'd traded me in for newer blood. Dylan, Southport's got cloudburst warnings. I'm stuck until tomorrow. His voice leapt with excitement. Really? You won't be back till tomorrow? Realizing how gleeful he sounded, he backpedaled. Drive safe, okay? If you miss our anniversary, it's fine. Just get home in one piece. I hung up, my heart half frozen. Every word dripped concern, yet every syllable was counterfeit. If he'd bothered to check the forecast, he'd have known Southport was cloudless today. I opened the home security app. Sure enough, the instant the call ended, Dylan's hands were all over the nanny. I closed the feed and boarded the plane home. The year we married, the Vance family had borrowed every dime to buy this manor. He'd sworn the study was sacred, only the two of us, because it held the relics of our love and the seeds of his career. Now he was in there laughing with the little babysitter. I stood outside the door, ice crawling over my skin. I'd already watched it on video, yet seeing it live felt like a blade between my ribs. Swallowing the bile, I hit record on my phone, then pushed the door open. They'd clearly just straightened their clothes. Dylan was struck mute. The nanny stepped forward, hand extended, smile bright. Mrs. Vance, I'm Mia, the new. I stepped past her and locked eyes on Dylan. You let her in here? Mia blocked my view. Ma'am, don't blame Mr. Vance. I didn't know where things went, so he came in to show me. I said nothing. Dylan nudged her toward the hall. Alex, give us a minute. She slinked out, pouting. Please don't fight because of me. I stared at Dylan, face blank. Panic flickered in his eyes. Honey, what are you doing home? My voice was flat. If I didn't come back, how would I know she'd waltzed in here again? He blinked. I've been swamped. I asked her to dust. Dust. I snapped. Did you forget what I told you last time? He shrugged. She's a kid. How much can she understand? He tried to circle my waist. Don't be mad. Next time I'll clean it myself. I peeled his hands off and faced him squarely. Dylan, this isn't about what she knows or who wields the duster. You remember what that room means to us? Or do I have to spell it out? No one, and I mean no one, crosses my private threshold for any reason. One more trespass and both of you are out on the curb. The smile slid off his face. He looked at me, disgust barely leashed. Got it. Won't happen again. Dinner was silent. Each time Dylan leaned in, I shifted away. Mia hovered, serving, letting her fingers brush his whenever she passed a dish. Dylan went rigid. When he decided I wasn't watching, he flirted back under the table. Every furtive touch was captured by the cameras. Later, in bed, he finally caved. He slipped an arm around me. Still mad. Babe, Alex is young enough to be my daughter. You really think I'd hit on her? I drew a slow breath and moved his hand. You still don't get it. I don't care how old Mia is, and I don't care whether you want her. None of that is the point. I rolled over to meet his eyes. What matters is privacy, my space, my boundaries. The study opens off our bedroom. To get there, she has to march through our room. A paid employee wandering through her employer's bedroom. What does that make her? And you swore that room was the vault of our marriage, sacred to the two of us. Now you treat it like a break room. Is our love so cheap she gets to walk through it? Dylan's throat bobbed. I'm sorry, babe. I got lazy and made you feel disrespected. He kissed my forehead. Hit me if you want. Just don't stew. Wrinkles, remember? When I stayed silent, he raised 3 fingers. Swear on my life. Never again. If it happens, I'll walk away with nothing. I didn't believe a syllable, but the lawyer still needed evidence. I forced myself to hug him. Sleep. We've got the estate lunch tomorrow. At the family gathering, Dylan delivered exactly what I expected. Mia on his arm, close enough to look like a couple. Relatives nudged me. Who's the girl with Dylan? Didn't know we had such a pretty cousin. I smiled sweetly. That's our nanny. Gasps all around. The nanny? At a private family reunion. I was about to pour lighter fluid on the fire when my phone buzzed. Skylar had texted. Sis, what's with the nanny brother-in-law hired? Girls spamming Instagram. Attached was Mia's latest post. Selfie at the hotel restaurant. Geotagged tableside. Caption. Thanks to my amazing boss, I'm officially part of the family now. I laughed under my breath. 2 idiots who couldn't even cheat discreetly. Made collecting proof almost too easy. I saved the screenshot. Page view gold this month, kiddo. I'm gifting you tomorrow's front page scoop. The second Skylar got my text, she knew exactly what I was about to pull. Don't worry, sis. I'm bringing the 4K rig. Every pore on that scumbag's face is going on record. With 30 minutes to curtain, Mia was already preening like a peacock in the center of the ballroom, acting as if the estate had her name on the deed. She kept it up right up to the moment she accidentally baptized my silk gown in Cabernet. The music died mid-beat. Oops, Mrs. Vance. I'm so clumsy. You're magnanimous, you'll forgive me, right? Every guest swiveled toward me, forks frozen halfway to their mouths, waiting for blood. Mia's eyes went glassy, a single tear wobbling on her lashes. Oscar-worthy stuff. I let the chill slip into my smile and swung. The slap hadn't even finished echoing before Dylan barreled in. What the hell, Serena? She's barely 22. Your hand could have broken her jaw. Mia collapsed against his chest, whimpering like a kicked puppy. Mrs. Vance, I know you hate me. You humiliate me at home. But here, in front of everyone, you. I cut her off with the backhand sequel. Mia stood there, mouth open, cheek blooming red, completely rebooting. The crowd's whispers crescendoed. She finally found the tears, clutching Dylan's sleeve like a life raft. Dylan, say something. Under the spotlight of 100 cell phones, Dylan's tongue tied itself. Mia shook his arm hard enough to rattle his Rolex. You promised. On the ride here, you swore. I watched the implosion with the detached curiosity of an oncologist studying a tumor. When Dylan still didn't speak, Mia detonated. She cracked him across the face, so hard his head snapped. I'm 5 months pregnant with your kid, you coward. Give me a ring or give our baby a name. Either way, your fortune's splitting 3 ways now. Gasps ricocheted from the crystal chandeliers all the way to the back terrace. Even I blinked. They'd moved fast. She must have been pregnant before I hired her. The nausea hit a second later. Rage coated in revulsion. I fisted Dylan's hair and delivered 2 crisp slaps that silenced the room faster than a power outage. Dylan dropped to his knees, hands clasped. Serena, she seduced me. It's all her, every filthy bit. Skylar elbowed through the circle, phone raised like a trophy. Got it all in 4K, sis. Oh, and paperwork. She slapped a thick envelope into my palm. Divorce papers pre-notarized. I exhaled, drove my heel into Dylan's gut, and tossed the packet after it. Tonight's little baby bump coup had handed me the final nail for both their coffins. Let them try to walk away with nothing, because that's exactly what they'd leave with. Dylan stared at the documents like they were written in hieroglyphics. Before he could beg, Mia lunged at Skylar. What do you mean recorded? That's illegal surveillance. I'll sue you for image rights infringement. Skylar didn't flinch. Honey, you crashed our family party, uninvited. Want to trade lawsuits? I've got a criminal trespass counterclaim warming up. Mia scoffed. This is a hotel, not a house. I finally spoke, voice iced. Forgot to mention, the hotel restaurant you're standing in? I own it. And Dylan hasn't picked up a tab in years. Mia's retort died when she caught Dylan shrinking like a salted slug. Pregnancy hadn't dulled her greed. Fine, divorce him anyway. Community property state. I still get half. I signaled the security team with a lazy flick. Escort the walking liability and her sperm donor to the curb. I thought that would buy me a quiet week. Instead, Mia beat me to the punch, firing up a TikTok live stream from her cramped studio, belly barely showing, tears on tap. She painted herself as the Mary Poppins whom the evil CEO worked to the bone while knocked up. My name trended adjacent to hashtag boss from hell before sunrise. Skylar shoved her phone under my nose. You're really going to let this circus keep touring? I admired my fresh manicure. The second act is always better. The hashtag pregnant made Mia snowballed. Strangers mailed her diapers and legal advice. Emboldened, Mia waddled up my front steps and rang the bell like she owned the place. Serena, you can't fire me without cause. Our contract says breach of contract payout. Pay up. I leaned against the jamb. Show me the signature page. If you find my name on it, I'll write the check. Then I shut the door in her face. Simple math. She'd breached every clause by sleeping with Dylan and concealing the pregnancy. If she wanted to grandstand, I'd let her. Every post she made was another exhibit for my lawyers. I underestimated Dylan's capacity for self-destruction. Past midnight they returned, Mia pale and trembling, Dylan pounding like a bad actor auditioning for sympathy. How can you be so heartless? He roared. Stress like this could trigger a double tragedy. Alex and the baby. He actually used her real name, trying to sound heroic. Then delivered his ultimatum. I refuse to sign. No divorce happens without my consent. This is still my legal residence. Let me in, or I'll call the cops. I considered the ceiling, then stepped aside. By all means, come in. The cameras are rolling. So even after he walked through the door, he stayed tiptoe quiet, terrified that one wrong move would get the two of them booted out. After all, the deed to this house carried only my name. Mia, however, had no such antenna. Dylan had warned her again and again not to poke the bear, yet she still sashayed up to me. White Lotus act cued and ready. Mrs. Vance. Everything before now, it was all my fault. I shouldn't have wandered into your and Mr. Vance's bedroom, even with his permission. I shouldn't have let him take me to the family dinner and humiliate you. All of it, every bit, was wrong. Please forgive me. She looked heartbreakingly sincere. Had every sentence not tap-danced across my personal landmines, I might actually have bought the quivering lamb routine. Before I could answer, Mia smacked herself, then crashed to the floor like a felled tree. Dylan barreled in the next heartbeat, roaring. What more do you want? She's pregnant. How vicious can you be? I'm the one who let her into the study. The one who took her to the dinner. If you're angry, aim it at me. Leave her and the baby out of it. Afraid one more spark wouldn't ignite me, Mia drawled from the carpet. Mrs. Vance, you can't take it out on me just because you can't carry a child yourself. Their duet was so textbook it tipped me past rage into laughter. I grabbed Dylan by the collar. Let me spell this out. We're a disaster because of what you keep doing, not because of what you had her do. You keep shoving our private life under other people's noses. Dylan's voice ratcheted louder. It's just a damn study. What are you even screaming about? I told you I was swamped, so Alex cleaned it. So what? The family dinner was a meal. Alex didn't feel like cooking alone, so I brought Mia. Big deal. If she so much as breathes near me, you lose your mind, right? I shot back. And I'm not allowed to lose it? Don't play dumb, Dylan. I know exactly why you hired her. Your heart checked out of this marriage ages ago. Do you even remember the promises you made me? The study was our secret garden. Family dinners were for husband and wife together. You nuked the garden, then paraded Mia around so the whole world could laugh at me. There's nothing left to say. Get out. Now. Dylan stared, stunned. So you're divorcing me over two tiny, ridiculous things? I looked him dead in the eye. They're tiny to you. To me, they're where you finally stomped across the last line. You proved I'm not your one and only, just another replaceable extra. After that brawl, Dylan and I plunged into a nuclear winter. Same roof, zero words. Maybe despite me, the two of them started acting out their own soap opera under my nose. Mr. Vance, feel, baby's kicking. Mia cooed, guiding his hand to her belly. Dylan pressed his ear against her stomach, beaming. He really is moving. Our little guy's dancing in there. Catching my eye, Mia smirked. Mrs. Vance, want a cup of feel? You'll never know how adorable it is, since you'll never be a mom. I shrugged. Really? Ask the kid if he wants a mother with no legal last name. The barb hit home. Mia's face folded. When are you divorcing her? You can't keep me hidden forever. Because she was so far along. Dylan soothed her. We're still negotiating. If I stonewall long enough, she'll cave and I won't have to walk away with nothing. Soon as the money's mine, I'll marry you and move you and the baby into a mansion. Mia simpered. Hurry, baby's due in a few months. I glanced at the camera, aimed straight at them. Right? Infant arriving soon, while mommy and daddy scheme about cash. They had no clue every word was being archived in high definition. A week later, Skylar texted. Sis, you seriously staying silent? The internet's roasting you alive. I can't take it. I studied the security feed, clipped a handful of choice moments, and forwarded them. Dropped these together with last month's family dinner footage. Earlier, her French maid twerking clip had been too explicit. My lawyer vetoed it. These new snippets showed everyday intimacy. Dylan and Mia calling each other babe, honey, wifey, plain as day. Not as salacious, but once stitched to the dinner fiasco, the timeline would speak for itself. The files were barely gone when I had security haul them out. Still half asleep, they were yanked from bed, luggage hurled after them onto the doorstep. 8 months pregnant, Mia waddled for balance while Dylan roared, Serena, have you lost your damn mind? Before he could spew more, Mia tugged his sleeve, horror dawning. Dylan, 'twere cancelled online. What? Dylan yelped and snatched the phone. The clip already running was a carefully edited highlights reel of his last few days with Mia. Even with both of them pixel-rated, sharp-eyed commenters had already tagged the girl as Mia, and every lie she'd ever told imploded in real time. Within minutes, the two of them were public enemy number one. Dylan stood in the driveway, screaming up at me, Serena, who said you could post that online? Do you have any idea what you've done to my reputation? How the hell am I supposed to show my face anywhere now? I looked down at them from the balcony. Oh, so you two can upload videos, but I can't. When Mia played the pity card, she sure didn't ask my permission. Before he could fire back, Mia behind him suddenly doubled over, clutching her belly. They rushed to the hospital in a panic. The stress had triggered early labor, and she delivered a baby girl. Sun dreams shattered. Dylan spun to bolt, only to find reporters blocking the exit. Mr. Vance, are the online rumors about you and Miss Linden true? Is the baby yours? And how do you explain things to Mrs. Vance? The question slammed into him like hail. Inside the idling town car I watched, perfectly calm. This was only the opening act. Cross me and no one walks away clean. I tightened my grip on the folder beside me while the laptop screen showed the countdown. 24 hours until the next email blast. Since Dylan had shown zero loyalty, I saw no reason to keep his secrets. After he'd finally stonewalled the press, the maternity ward called him back. Mr. Vance, your daughter's a preemie with a congenital lung defect. She's on a ventilator for now. She'll need surgery. Please check in at billing first. Dylan's stomach lurched. I'd already frozen his supplementary card, so he begged Riverdale for an advance on his book royalties. But the scandal was front-page news, and the publisher had been looking for an excuse to cut him loose. I don't care. If I don't get that money today, my kid dies. And if she dies, I swear I'll take you all down with me. His thuggish tantrum convinced the editor-in-chief to pay him off, but accounting had gone home. Nothing could be wired until morning. Fine. If the cash isn't there tomorrow, I'll drag you online. Let's see how you like being called baby killers. Spitting on the editor's shoes for emphasis, Dylan stalked out. He checked into a motel across the street from Riverdale so he could be first in line at the cashier's window at dawn. Instead, he stepped into an office full of sneers and stares. He shrugged it off. He knew he'd made a scene. But the moment he asked for the check, the editor hurled a gob of saliva at his feet. You fraud! You plagiarized your own wife, and you dare ask me for money. Hand back every cent you ever squeezed out of us. Serena, get out here. How dare you hand over that manuscript? You're trying to kill me. I was wearing a face mask when I opened the door. The sight of Dylan shrieking on the security monitor had been hilarious. Men are revolting. Give them comfort, and they forget who handed them the pillows. I motioned the guards to let him in. We sat across from each other in the living room. The four beefy bodyguards behind my couch vaporized his bravado. Voice low, he asked, "Tell me what it will take for you to let me off the hook." I smiled. "Let you off? What exactly have I done to you?" He glared. "Don't play dumb. You emailed Riverdale those chapters. You want me beg, right? Fine, I'm begging. What do you want?" I snorted. "You broke every promise first, and the book is mine. You submitted it behind my back, that's theft." "I'm only reclaiming my property, problem." He jumped up. "We're married. What's yours is mine. You said it yourself." I slammed the coffee table. The crack shut him up. "Remember, you betrayed me first. Why should I show mercy now?" When he saw threats weren't working, Dylan switched to whimpering. "Babe, you're really going to let an innocent baby die? No matter how much you hate me and Mia, the child didn't ask to be born. Do you have the heart to watch her suffocate?" Noticing the slight softening on my face, he pressed harder. "Give me $1 million for her surgery. Once she's out of danger, we'll hand her to you. Didn't you always say you wanted kids? Let this baby be my peace offering, okay?" His offer made my temples throb. Even now, he still didn't get it, still bargaining as though I owed him something. "I'll write the check," I said slowly, "but only after you sign the divorce papers and walk away with nothing." "Forget it," he exploded. "You expect me to give up half of everything for some brat? In your dreams." I gave him a glacial stare. "So you're fine with letting her die?" He shrugged. "So what if she does? She's not even a boy." I stood, done wasting breath, and signaled security. They dragged him to the curb. He was still shrieking, "Serena, you heartless witch, just wait, I'll make you pay." From the terrace I watched, stone-faced. See, this is what men do. Cling to luxury, then blame a woman when it slips away. The only innocent here is the infant, born to two narcissists who see her as a bargaining chip. Dylan can refuse the divorce as long as he likes. I have money and time. Let's see whether Mia's patience, or her daughter's next breath, runs out first. Unable to pay the medical bills, the hospital threw Dylan and Mia out. The two of them crammed into the cramped studio and fought nonstop. "Why won't you just say yes to Serena's demands? Do you honestly have the heart to watch our baby die?" "She's not a boy," Dylan answered righteously. "Dead is dead. We can always make another." The words stabbed Mia so hard her heart ached. She clutched her chest, rib cage heaving. They were still shouting when the infant in the crib began to wail and a fist hammered the door. Dylan yanked the door open, irritated, and Mrs. Linden muscled her way in. Before he could speak, she shrieked, "Dear Lord, what kind of sin is this? You quit a decent job to play housemaid, and now you're knocked up by the boss." The Linden family's face is ruined. Mia gazed through tears at Mrs. Linden. "Mom." Dylan stepped forward awkwardly. "Ma'am." Mrs. Linden didn't spare him a civil look. "So you're the employer who got my girl pregnant." Dylan flushed, speechless. "You're the one who put a baby in my daughter? Have you no shame? She's young enough to be your daughter. How could you touch her?" She swung at him, screaming, "Give me an answer. When are you marrying her and giving her a name? If you don't, I'm marching to the precinct and having you dragged off in cuffs." Reading the old woman's face, Dylan knew they meant it. "Tomorrow," he stammered. "Tomorrow we pick up the divorce papers." Mrs. Linden twisted his ear. "You'd better finish it tomorrow and register with my girl the day after, or else. I swear I'll make you regret the day you were born." Barefoot desperation beats silk slippers. Fearing Mrs. Linden might really snap, Dylan scrambled to me. "Serena, you want the divorce, right? Come with me right now and sign the decree." I looked at the jittery man and smiled coldly. "I'm suddenly not in the mood today. Maybe next month." Dylan panicked. "What do you mean? We agreed. How can you back out?" I studied him. "Fine, but you sign the divorce papers the second, then we walk straight to City Hall." "You." He pointed, shocked that I'd flipped the script. "Big joke. A man who schemes against me gets repaid 1,000-fold. Recalling Mrs. Linden chasing him with a butcher knife the night before, Dylan gritted his teeth and caved. He wanted money, but he wanted life more. Half an hour later, I admired the fresh divorce decree and laughed out loud. Happy divorce, Mr. Vance, and congratulations on your new marriage. May it last 100 years. The instant the paper hit my palm, a weight I'd carried my entire life slid off my shoulders. Bullied by Mrs. Linden, Dylan and Mia's life became a circus. Mia, free-spirited Gen Z, would never stay home playing housewife. Every chore and diaper fell on Dylan. At first he gloated. He could loaf while his wife brought home cash. Until days of laundry, dishes, and tantrums under Mia's and Mrs. Linden's scowls broke him. Finally, he revolted, only to learn Mrs. Linden's fists were harder than his pride. She shattered his leg and pitched him into the street. Bleeding, he crawled to my door, sobbing. Wife, forgive me. I was blind. Mia's nothing beside you. It's like comparing mud to moonlight. Take me back, and I'll be your ox, your horse, anything. I was admiring News 8-pack when the groveling reached my ears. The hypocrisy was hilarious. Ex-hubby, what makes you think you can compete with my new? Dylan looked up, saw a man 10 years younger, and yelped, Serena, have you no shame at your age? I snorted. You didn't blush when you chased Mia. Why is it okay for you and not for me? I signaled security. They hurled him into the gutter. With every door in town slammed shut, Dylan slunk back to Mia. Playing the baby daddy card, he trashed Mia's cafe, throwing tantrums if the slightest whim went unmet, flopping on the floor shrieking that the Lindens starved and abused him. At first Mia and fast-fading Mrs. Linden indulged him to save face, but soon disgust curdled into hate. The last drop of Mia's affection evaporated. She cheated. Dylan walked in on the tryst. The three tangled in a brawl. Mrs. Linden rushed to mediate. Dylan buried a knife in her chest. Her death unhinged Mia. She and her lover slammed Dylan face first into the boiling pasta vat. Minutes later, he was scalded dead. 2 murders in one day, evidence airtight. Mia and her boyfriend were arrested for first-degree murder and fast-tracked to death row. The infant was shipped to Riverdale Orphanage. Rumor said the child, frail from birth, soon died from neglect. I was overseas closing a deal when the news arrived. Freed from Dylan, my empire had soared. New markets, new allies, life on my own glittering terms. For the first time I belonged to myself, not as someone's wife or mother. I poured every spare dollar into Women First brands, determined to protect the rights we were always told we didn't deserve. The view kept rising, and I climbed until the skyline bent. Men rotated through my world. Only the useful or the well-behaved stayed. Love? I don't chase it anymore. Cash is the only language the universe speaks. Love is the cheapest thing on earth. Thanks for listening. On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate today's story? If it hooked you, hit like and share. Tell us your take in the comments and subscribe for more. See you next episode.